Long ago, before the white man's road cut through the forest, there stood a powerful Igbo kingdom called Olayuzoma, a land of red earth, tall palm trees, and moonlit masquerade dances. The people were farmers, hunters, blacksmiths, and palm wine tappers. Every New Yam festival, drums spoke louder than voices, and maidens danced in beads and wrappers, their bodies glowing with camwood. But over Olayuzoma rode a king feared more than he was loved. His name was Izokechiri, the king of darkness. Beside him sat his queen, Monionwo, whose beauty hid eyes that had seen the spirit world. At night, when the village slept, the royal palace glowed with strange fires. Owls gathered on the aku tree, and no child cried without suddenly falling ill. The king and queen did not rule with offer and justice. They ruled with dark powers.
My queen, we shall keep ruling with our dark powers.
Yes, my lord.
They spoke to spirits that lived inside the river and the ants. Anyone who challenged them disappeared, and in the morning only a trail of ashes remained. The people suffered. Yams rotted in the soil. Pregnant women miscarried. Hunters entered the forest and never returned.
God shall restore peace in this kingdom and fight our enemies.
But the darkness only grew thicker. Far from the palace, in a poor compound at the edge of the forest, lived a young man called Chibuzo, meaning God leads the way. He was an orphan, raised by an old mat weaver. He owned only 2 wrappers, a wooden flute, and a hoe. Yet animals never harmed him. Snakes crossed his path and bowed their heads. When he dreamt, ancestors spoke. One night, as the moon sat like a broken calabash in the sky, Chibuzo followed a strange light into the forest. There, beneath an ancient Iroko tree, stood 3 glowing figures. Their voices were many, yet one. Son of the dust, they said, Olayuzoma is bleeding, you are the one we have chosen. The ground opened. From it rose a staff carved with symbols of the sun and python. This is Ofochi, darkness cannot stand before it, but know this, the battle will demand pain, sacrifice, and courage. When Chibuzo touched the staff, fire entered his blood. His eyes shone like lightning. The forest went silent. At dawn, he returned home. But he was no longer the same. Word soon spread of a young man healing the sick, reversing curses, and making dead crops rise. The people whispered, the gods have remembered us. The evil king felt it. In his palace, mirrors cracked. The queen's charms failed. For the first time, fear sat on their throne. They summoned Chibuzo, dressed in a simple white wrapper, red beads crossing his chest. He walked into the palace barefoot, holding only his staff. The queen laughed, and darkness filled the hall. Shadows rose like smoke. The king transformed into a monstrous form, half man, half beast. The ground shook, but Chibuzo planted Ofochi into the earth. He called the names of the ancestors. He called the rivers. He called the sun. Light exploded. The queen screamed as her body turned to dust. The king roared, trying to flee into the spirit world, but the light dragged him back. With one final strike, Chibuzo broke his crown, and with it, his powers. Silence followed. Then birds sang. For the first time in many seasons, the wind smelled of rain and new leaves. The elders gathered. They washed Chibuzo with sacred water. They clothed him in lion-skin regalia, coral beads, and an eagle feather crown, but he refused to sit immediately. A king is not made by a throne.
A king is not made by a throne.
The people and the gods.
He is made by the people
After 7
and the
market
gods.
weeks of cleansing rituals, Chibuzo was crowned as Chibuzo-I, the light of Olayuzoma. He reopened shrines. He restored the festivals. He ruled with Ofo, not fear. Until today, elders say, when darkness grows fat, the gods raise a child from the dust.